Tired of big tech clashing with your Catholic values? Fide Chat is now live on the Apple App Store and Google Play Store. It's private, encrypted, and built by Catholics for Catholics, with features like parental controls and more. Connect securely with family, friends, and groups. Download Fide Chat at fide.email. Technology without compromise.
A few days ago, I reported to you on how Notre Dame University in the United States decided to put its Catholic principles, get rid of them out of their guiding documents for their staff. This, you might have thought, well, wait, they acknowledged Catholic principles as guiding the university? Because for many of us, it was pretty obvious that Notre Dame was a research university and an athletics school. And then somewhere after that, right after, principles on being good neighbors and running local parks efficiently and doing charity in the name of secular values, somewhere after that was a nod to Catholicism. It wasn't exactly the most Catholic school and hasn't been for a very long time. And so when they updated their recent documents, they said, hey, we're just going to take these out of here. So they had like 4 or 5 points. I went over them in a previous video. And they sounded like every other secular college in the United States. They were indistinguishable from other top-tier private colleges with that do a lot of scientific research and athletics. You would not know the difference between that one and say, I'm in Oklahoma. OU and OSU are the big schools here. Their guiding print documents are very similar to what Notre Dame had. Right. And you don't expect a defense of Catholic principles and mission from University of Oklahoma and Oklahoma State University. But you do expect them from Notre Dame, whose name is literally Our Lady, just with a bad American pronunciation. That's literally what the name means. Well, after they published this got into the secular media. The news sources I used in my initial report on this were from secular media. This caused a bit of pushback to the university. They must have gotten a lot of letters, emails, angry calls from Catholic donors who were like, what are you people doing? I'm going to cut off the funding because many of us have had enough of this nonsense. They were one of the forerunners of the new religion. Well, we get this update to this whole story from another secular outlet, from Newsmax, and they have tons and tons of ads on their website. We'll make it work, though. The headline: Notre Dame restores Catholic mission to core values. Now, what you are going to see here is a hilarious backpedaling. They're going to be like, whoa. We made a reference to a Catholic mission earlier in the document. Everybody missed that. And so it's on us for doing something that added to confusion. Yeah, okay. They knew what they were doing with this document. Notre Dame University was one of the 4 running colleges during the 1960s and the aftermath of Vatican II, the establishment of the Land of Lakes Statement. And if you don't know what that is, once upon a time, Catholic schools in the United States, whether they were high schools, junior colleges, or universities, whatever they were, they all adhered to the Catholic faith. They had them as its guiding principle, if you want to call it that, meaning a Catholic school was a Catholic school. And then after Vatican II, a group of bigwigs from a few universities in the United States met in Land O'Lakes, Wisconsin. Yes, as in the butter people, same place. And they put together a document called the Land O'Lakes Statement, which basically said, in the name of academic freedom and freedom of thought and all these other American ideas, we are breaking away from the Catholic Church unofficially. We are not going to be guided by these things anymore. We are going to affirm the Catholic faith, but we're going to have it be the guide stone as we see fit. So these schools all skewed heavily to the secular left, became institutions promoting the system. So what they became. Many Catholic schools followed suit, and many Catholic schools went out of business as a consequence of this. I know this because I worked in one that this happened to. Even though the university board brought in Catholics to actually try to reorient the school's mission back in line with the Vatican's response document issued in the 1980s to this, that it should be a Catholic school. Well, it didn't work. Here is what happened with Notre Dame. The University of Notre Dame has moved quickly to restore Catholic mission as a core staff value after backlash over its brief removal. Chain school leaders now admit created confusion over the school's identity and priorities. In a November 21st message to staff, Notre Dame President Reverend Robert A. Dowd, Father Dowd, said the university had originally placed its Catholic identity in the preamble of a new set of 4 staff values unveiled last week, believing that approach would emphasize its overarching importance. But the shift, he acknowledged, sent the wrong signal. Thanks to some constructive feedback we received, meaning they got a lot of emails, we now realize the placement is causing confusion, Dowd wrote. Some could interpret that not as elevating our mission as we intended, but as a sign of diminishing commitment. To avoid any further confusion, we have now included the language on Catholic mission as the first of our 5 core values. Catholic mission as is now the university's top stated value, defined as be a force for good and help to advance Notre Dame's mission to be the leading global Catholic research university. The remaining values, community, excellence, collaboration, and innovation, which are basically synodality plus innovation, follow. Dowd stressed that the Catholic character of Notre Dame, quote, guides and informs all that we do and how we work together, calling it a foundational force present from the university's founding and one that will always be her guiding force. Addressing staff directly, Dowd closed by expressing gratitude for their role in upholding Notre Dame's identity. I could not be more grateful for the many ways you embody the very best of Notre Dame. You inspire me with your generosity, kindness, and dedication to Our Lady's University. Take that as your evidence that sometimes writing your emails and sending in your petitions and things actually works. I don't know if they got petitions, but people sent in emails. People called them. I am certain some people showed up at the university president's office and talked to his secretary and asked for a personal meeting. It probably helped the people who did the more in-your-face things were either members of the media or were big dollar donors. But they did something. And it appears to have worked for once. Now, that doesn't mean Notre Dame's going to suddenly become a Newman List class university. For those who don't know, in the United States is the Cardinal Newman List. If you're looking for a Catholic school, find the Cardinal Newman List and send your kids there for college if they have to go to college. It might be complicated for you to do that because many of those schools do not accept any federal dollars, meaning no Pell Grants or student loans to go. But if that's not an obstacle to you, and yes, they have scholarship programs there, that's where you should look at least first. And Notre Dame is not trying to get on that list. Although maybe someday we will all get to witness the triumph of the Immaculate Heart and whatever civilization looks like after that. The universities that call themselves Catholic will actually be Catholic, and you will have no need for a Cardinal Newman List anymore. But until such a time, we need to be vigilant and defend the faith as has been handed down through the generations until just a few decades ago, when a bunch of men thought they were doing Jesus a favor by bringing his church into a more relevant space in the world. Until that time happens, until all that nonsense is undone through the triumph of the Immaculate Heart, we hold these people's feet to the fire. So if you're watching this and you called Notre Dame, good on you. You helped. And I say that as the person who is very cynical about letter writing campaigns, about petitions and things. Most of the time they don't work. But in this case, praise God, it worked. They're at least paying lip service to the mission. Meaning they've gone back to the status quo that we've all watched for the last several decades. Maybe rejoicing over that is not the best thing, because they were being more honest when they put aside the Catholic mission. Let me know which one you think is true in the comments. Are you happy to see they've restored the Catholic mission? Or do you think they were being more honest and they got rid of it? Well, let me know what you think in the comments. And do you understand how this is a reflection of the religion, as we talked about earlier? Let me know what you think in the comments, please. Hit like and subscribe. If you haven't, it does help. Sharing this on social media helps a lot too. Please pray for the church and everybody who spoke about negatively. The priest who runs Notre Dame University, any bishops involved in any of this, pray for all of them. The salvation of their soul is more important than just being angry about this. And as always, pray for the church. I'm Anthony Stine. Ave Maria.